Right then, so here we are once again inside the wonderful world of War Thunder, where today we're just doing a little bonus video featuring the short Sunderland. Now we're just taking some shots at a passing HE-111 heading the other way. Now I have 3 battles for you here today, all of which have varying degrees of success. This first one doesn't, however. So we're just lining up on this bombing point. We've extended the bombs on their retractable bomb racks under the wings. This being a flying boat, it can't have a conventional bomb bay, of course. And so we're just going to fly over this bombing point, this military weapons cache or logistics point, whatever you think it might be. Civilian housing, if you like. But we're all of a sudden assaulted by BF-109, who pretty much instantly takes out our pilot, which is very annoying. So here we are again, doing the same thing. Bombs out, and approaching the bombing point. Flying the Mark III Sunderland, I think. It's the one with the side guns. And we're just going to casually stroll over to this bombing point and do the exact same thing as we did last time. Except hopefully we won't get shot in the face. So we're peering through the bomb site. And there it is. Just gonna wait for the crosshair to line up. And zoom in. And bombs away. Off they go. We'll turn the plane around now. And here you can see just how ineffectual the Sunderland is as a bomber, I'm afraid. It's just not that good. Because the Sunderland is, of course, not a bomber. It is actually a maritime patrol aircraft and anti-submarine aircraft. So you don't need that big of a bomb bay to perform those sorts of duties. Looks like a Dornier 217 is trying to intercept. But the Dornier 217 really isn't suited for intercepting, it being such a heavy and underpowered aircraft. So we just speed up a little bit and he gives up pretty quickly. But yeah, the Sunderland really doesn't have the sort of bomb load you'd need to be a proper bomber. In real life, of course, it would only have to carry a few depth charges or maybe a few rockets or conventional bombs for use against submarines. Most of the payload is taken up by radar and ley lights and things like that. Long-range communication equipment and fuel tanks. And it was very good at being an anti-submarine warfare aircraft. But being a strategic bomber is not its first calling, as you can see by the meagre damage we've done to the bombing point. Now anyway, there is no carrier for us to park up next to, so if we want to get more bombs we're going to have to somehow land on that runway. And you might be thinking, well, we've got no wheels, this is an amphibious aircraft, this is a true flying boat. We're not in a Catalina, how on earth are we going to land? And to that I say, very carefully. It can be done, And if you know what you're doing, like me, it can be done very easily. But you still got to observe utmost caution, which means not approaching too fast, not doing anything rash, not landing while somebody's bombing the airbase, and not breaking off your flaps like I just did. Can anyone see my deliberate mistake? Well, now the flaps have broken off, we're going to have to be even more careful. We're going to have to slow down the old-fashioned way, which is wiggling the aeroplane from side to side. Now on our final approach, I am using knots as a speed reference because that's what the British used during the Second World War. However, I have no idea what a knot is or how fast you're going when you've got one, so this is mainly just guesswork as to how fast I'm going. Okay, the Wellington's taken off. We're on final approach. The MiG-3, who somehow stumbled across the Sicilian invasion, is also taken off. Gently does it, giving it a little bit more throttle. And flaring at the last moment, gently scraping the underside off. There we are. Perfect. And shutting the engines off one by one. There we go. All done and dusted. Now we're repaired and rearmed, and luckily for us we don't have to try and take off in an aeroplane that has no wheels. Because we start up in the air. Right, so this time round I'm figuring, well, bombing is so ineffective and you get so little reward for doing it, I might as well just bomb some of these pillboxes and whatnot. So, got the bombs out. We're approaching the target. Gonna have to do a bit of precision bombing, like what the Americans is proud of doing. There go two of our bombs. Down they go. Going to drum a little on Fritz's roof. There's one, and the second one misses. Which is a little irritating, but there you go. This is a British aircraft, of course, so precision bombing, unless you're in a Mosquito, is not really its forte. I'm gonna drop another bomb on this here pillbox in the woods. Not the one you're looking at, this one that you cannot see, but I can see it because of my eagle vision. There we are. And finally we're going to use our forward-facing machine guns to pepper this pillbox with 7.7 caliber bullets. That would be 303 caliber, 7.7 millimeters in European. But for whatever reason, the guns on the Sunderland point upwards. Then I forget we're in a big heavy flying boat and leave it too late to pull up. Right, so hopefully this next battle will be a little more successful. Well, I say hopefully, I mean, I was the one who flew it. So I think I'd know how it ends. But it was the Mark V we were flying earlier, the Sunderland Mark V. This is the Sunderland Mark III. And as you can see, it has no side guns. It also has a lower battle rating, so things should be a little smoother this time. And you can see my co-pilot, and the navigator and radio operator sitting there in their low texture positions. Now are the Bristol Pegasus engines, if that's indeed what they are. Unfortunately, this cloud is a little thick for precision bombing, so we're going to have to go down underneath it, which puts us right in amongst all the fighters. So we'll have to maintain vigilance. There's something down there. It's a BA-65, one of those crappy Italian attack aircraft, along with some Japanese aircraft. How they ended up in Sicily again, I don't know, but if the Russians are here, well, why not? Bring the Japanese along. Open the bomb racks. Get ready our payload. Continue descending until we reach the lowest layers of this cloud. There we are, emerging from the fog like some great sea monster of the air. The white whale, as they say. Which is Sunderland. Or is that the Catalan? No, that's the sky whale. The Kai... No, the... Anyway, focus now, we're bombing the targets. There's a bunch of ground emplacements down there. We dropped one bomb down on them. And... we're going to turn round so we can come back for a better angle at an attack. There goes our 250-pound bomb, which is about 100 kilograms for people who use a measurement system. That actually makes sense. And 3 targets in one. Granted, they're only soft targets, but still, I think that's quite impressive. Is it the Nakajima H6K? It's the Sea Dragon. Oh, looks like that HE-111 wants to intercept, so we're going to turn around and shoot at him with our forward-facing guns. But I make a miscalculation, and so does he, it seems. I hit him, but then I hit him. And he tears off the end of my left wing. I've got a hole in my left wing. He got a bigger hole in his, which means that he crashes, and so I don't get any money or jewellery for that tactical manoeuvre. Sunderland, however, is still sort of flying. So I figure we've still got 3 bombs. Let's find something to drop them on before we limp our way back to base. And there I see a whole cluster of ground targets. base is under attack, but I don't think they'll be able to knock it out in this one go. So we're gonna float up over these targets, and we're gonna drop our bombs, which should reduce the ungainliness of this 1.5 winged aircraft. And bombs away. Drop 2 by accident, and last one. Off it goes. Try turning right, but the aircraft decides to go up instead, so we stall it, and it falls down. But luckily that gives us a little more airspeed, so we can complete our turn. But then all of a sudden we get hit by anti-aircraft fire, which inexplicably knocks out all 4 coolant systems. Which leads me to believe that either that was an incredibly lucky hit on part of the Germans, or that the cooling systems for all 4 engines on the Sunderland are connected by one tube that has no means of isolating a leak, which is a quite significant design flaw, I'd say. We're also leaking fuel. Problems just keep getting worse and worse. Now we're flying an aircraft with 1.5 wings. Now spraying, well, all our coolant's up in the air, so our engines are going to overheat, which means that before long we'll be dead. So we got to land quickly. Luckily, both our flaps are still working, so we got that going for us. Coming in a little bit fast, so we're going to try and wiggle around to slow down a little bit. Lower the flaps. Gives us a tiny bit more stability. A little too much stability actually, because now we're in danger of stalling. I'll give it a little more throttle. Adjust the flaps. Now time to bring it in. That is, if that... Oh dear. We lost another flap. But now I figured, hey, the increased lift provided by the one flap should counteract the decreased lift from the missing wingtips. So, if we play this right, we could land relatively simply. That is, if we don't crash into that B-18 Bolo, who for whatever reason chose this moment to land. And there we are. There he goes. A bit of a rough landing on his part, I must say. You've got wheels, you've got no excuse. Shut down all 4 engines at the same time because they're overheating. Don't want them to catch fire. And starting up a new recording because the computer decided to go to sleep in the middle of this. So, right, well, bombs are loaded. The wings glued back on. Let's go back out there. There's a Ki-45 up there, which is not my favourite aircraft. Not in the slightest. In fact, I very much dislike the Ki-45. But that is a story for another video. Right now we're focusing on the Sunderland, and what we're going to do is we're going to go drop some more bombs, and we're going to drop them on the Germans. And indeed the Japanese. Taking a look around the cockpit here. It is of course a placeholder cockpit, so it's a little sparse. Not really sure what happened to the recording there, it just froze again. Well, I say again, it just froze for the first time. And oh dear, looks like our friend has been shot down. There's 3 hostile aircraft over there, including a Zero. No, that's not a Zero, that is the predecessor to the Zero, the A5, as well as an HE-111 and something else. So we're going to go drop our bombs on this artillery position. Hopefully we'll get some machine gun opportunities to machine gun it with our machine guns. Over the river. Anti-aircraft opens up. And we take another hit, which begins an oil leak in 3 of our engines, as well as a fuel leak. Oh, there goes the 4th engine. Alright, so we better drop our bombs quickly. Away go 2 of them, and we're going to drop a second pair on whatever's down here. And off they go. Alright, they've hit something. Second ones didn't. So we're going to machine gun this artillery thing, and then we're going to go back to base to repair our coolant system once again. Dodging the flak shells. Oh, that one didn't. It hit our gunner. And because our forward-facing machine guns are so skew-whiff, we're going to have to finish it off with our tail gunner. Quite enough fun. Don't make the long flight back to base, but oh no! We're intercepted by a rogue HE-111 and A5M. Take a few pot shots at him. But of course our dorsal gunner has been hit by a 20mm anti-aircraft shell, and so he's very much tomato heinzed. An A5M decides to swoop down and have a go. We managed to fight him off with our tail gunner and put a hole in his left wing, as well as his coolant system. And he decided he's had quite enough of that, so he's going to buzz off. Now thankfully his 2 puny little machine guns didn't do all that much in the way of damage to us. But hey, at least we've still got both our wings. So we got that going for us. Maybe this time I'll manage to land without tearing off the flaps. Yeah, A5M has been shot down by a Lag 3. activate the aerobatic smoke for the appreciation of all the Italian villagers. Approaching at 100 knots. Gently does it. Still got plenty of time. Lowering the flaps to their lowest position, and hey, they haven't broken off. 86 knots. That's about 100 miles an hour, I think. If it isn't, why not say so in the comments down below? And or come into my room and tell me how wrong I am. You know who you are. Anyway, so we're just about to scrape the keel off of our flying boat. Here we go. Just about there. And contact. Into a nice, graceful, screeching finish. And the engines off one by one for neatness. Just as they're dying from overheating. Right, so we're going to fill up the coolant, stick an egg in there so it seals the hole, cram some more bombs in it, glue some Velcro over the holes, and we're up in the air again. Don't know why you'd be gluing Velcro over the holes. Maybe if you're gluing one side of the Velcro so you can Velcro the other side onto the other side of it, but I'm not even sure Velcro was a thing at this time of the year, of the war, of human existence. So it's much more likely we'd get a little circle of metal and then use a pop rivet gun to rivet it into place. That is, if my experience of Flight Mechanic Simulator have anything to say about the subject. Oh, looks like we won. And we came second in the team, which really shows how... Well, let's just say, I didn't do all that much. But we won, and we got some money and some jewellery, which is lovely. And that's all very jolly good, I think. On our way to unlocking the Spitfire Mark 5B, or whatever it is, one of the newer Spitfires they added. But I'm thinking, you know what, all this landing on the ground really doesn't do the Sunderland justice, so I'm gonna take it out for a little spin in the test flight module. You can see, we're floating on the water, where the Sunderland belongs. Oh no, this landing on the ground. That's for ground-based aeroplanes. No, we are a Sunderland. We land on the water. Oh, so gracefully. Like a swan. That weighs over 100 tons. Maybe not quite that much, but so. It's a very big swan. Up in the air. Up and away. All over the bay. Can I do a little fly past of these boats? Or ships, should I say? They don't like it when I call them boats. Over HMS Superb and HMS Ark Royal. along with 2 patrol boats, HMS PB 601 and HMS PB 443. A nice graceful banking turn. Oh, so graceful. Flying over HMS Belfast and HMS Valley Forge. It's probably an American boat, but oh well. Do a little buzz of HMS, whatever I called the first one. And slowing down for our landing. Careful with the flaps. Going 120 knots. 110, lowering flaps to the combat position. 90 knots. Lowering the flaps to the landing position. And oh so gently, yes that's a word now, splishing and splashing down on the water. Simply majestical. Raising the flaps and switching off the engines one by one. Right, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, this short bonus video of the short Sunderland. It's truly an iconic aircraft, but perhaps not suited to the world of War Thunder. I will of course do a proper video about it in due time. Next video, of course, will be about the Polycarpov I-15, which I think will be released in 3 separate parts, one for history, one for technical details, and one for the battle. So, the history video should hopefully be coming out soon, and I will hopefully see you then. So, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.